Welcome to season 9 of the award-winning Retail Tea Break podcast. My name is Melissa Moore, the Retail Advisor. I'm a retail educator, trainer and retail conference MC. And each week as your host, I'll be joined by industry experts, retailers and brands to dispel the myths, share their knowledge and give you an insight into the retail industry. You can listen back to previous 8 seasons on your favourite podcast platform or watch us on YouTube. And while you're there, please hit that follow button so that you get to listen first every week. And remember, sharing is caring in the retail industry. Share an episode across any of the platforms with your network. And if you're on social media, tag me, Melissa Moore, and the Retail Tea Break podcast. So in the meantime, grab that cup of tea, sit back and enjoy season 9 of the Retail Tea Break podcast. This episode of the Retail Tea Break is sponsored by AutoAddress, the smarter way to capture addresses and stop delivery issues before they happen. Did you know that around 20% of all shipping addresses entered at the checkout are incorrect or incomplete, leading to failed or delayed deliveries, wasted admin time, lost revenue, and of course, frustrated customers? So whether it's typos, missing information, or messy express checkout data, AutoAddress catches bad addresses before they cost you time, money, or customers. So check out autoaddress.com and try it free for 14 days. Today I'm joined by a 4th generation retailer from Claremorris in rural Ireland, whose family business has been serving the community for 120 years. What began as a small grocery shop has now grown into a 25,000 square foot destination for home, garden, electrical and agri-business needs. With a strong focus on customer service and innovation, the business has expanded into new premises, national partnerships and even an online store launched just before the pandemic. Now, with the next generation fully involved, the family is continuing to balance heritage with modern retail, ensuring their legacy remains as strong as ever. James Kean, Managing Director of Keans Claremorris, welcome to the Retail Tea Break podcast.
Hi, thanks, Melissa. Delighted to be here.
I'm thrilled that I get to talk to you. It's lovely to have one of my local retailers on the podcast who's doing things so well. So look, in the age-old tradition of the Retail Tea Break podcast, in the time that it takes to boil a kettle, which I am told is about 2 minutes, tell me a little bit more about you and your background in the industry.
Well, after attending St. Coleman's College in Claremorris, I began my studies at Regional Technical College in Galway at the time, which is GMIT now, or I think it's gone to ATU now. So they're changing the names of these things all the time. But anyway, I left that early to join our family business and went full-time into it in 1978. Since then, together with Patricia, my wife, and our 3 children, Andrea, James, and Mark, we've grown. I started as a small grocery business and agri supply shop into a modern multi-departmental retail business incorporating electrical, agri-business, gardening, DIY, home and pet as the latest addition. We also have strategic partnerships with Home Value, Euronics, PetStop and Calor Gas. I inherited the business in 1992 and we made a strategic shift from grocery to focus on hardware, agri and garden. Over the years, we've kind of embraced the change, joining National Hardware in 1999, which is a hardware group, and launching the Arrow franchise in 2004. We added Euronics Ireland Electrical into the mix then in 2011 and have been growing steadily ever since. We now operate on a 2.5-acre site in the centre of Claremorris with over 25,000 square foot of retail space, and we also have a goods yard to go along with that. So it's been a true family effort, Melissa, with our 3 children now actively involved, and they are now the bosses. They keep telling me what I have to do rather than the other way around. It used to be the other way, but I'm afraid that it's gone full circle. But I'd like to say 2025 marked a proud milestone for us as a family because we celebrated 120 years and 4 generations in business. Alongside this, I've served on several industry boards, including National Hardware, United Hardware currently, and Euronics Ireland. But that's a brief overview.
Busy and incredible. And as you said, the 4th generation now in this family business, which is unbelievable and quite unheard of. You've expanded, obviously, as you've said there, so way beyond the grocery into the hardware, pet care, as you say, agri-fuel. What inspired this kind of agility, this kind of evolution of the brand?
Well, I suppose it's wants and needs at the end of the day. We knew we weren't going to survive as a grocery business, and it's one thing that you learn very early in business. It's that change is the only constant. So our family has seen this firsthand running a business across 4 generations. What worked for my my grandparents and my parents wouldn't be enough today, and what works for us now will need to evolve for the next generation as well. So I would say if you don't adapt to new circumstances, new opportunities, and especially to what customers expect, you risk getting left behind. Core to that is the customer standards, needs, and perceptions are always shifting. That can be daunting, but I've come to see that as an opportunity for growth. For us, the guiding principle has always been simple: listen to the customer. What do they need today? What will they want tomorrow? That's the question that we need to answer on a daily basis. It doesn't matter what department you're looking at. I've also found that in relation to that, you can't do it alone. Attending hardware, garden, and electrical meetings and building relationship with other business owners and the buying groups have become incredibly invaluable to us. The conversations you have there, they'll challenge your thinking and keep you relevant and keep the thought fresh in your mind as well. And I suppose testament to not just one, but all of the generations is that, we as a family been through the two world wars, the slump in the 80s, the
Mm-hmm.
credit crunch in 2007, 2008, the pandemic, and also seeing the birth of the new Irish state. Quite an achievement, I'd suggest.
That's unbelievable, actually, when you think about everything that the brand, that store has seen, as you said, going all the way back, to the early turn of the century is absolutely unbelievable. But actually, with that, I think one thing you're certainly known for locally is the fact you are very much heart of the community there. Claremorris, big, big town, but you're very much part of the identity, I think, of the fabric of the town, as you say, because you've been there for so long. How do you think you weave what you do into the heart of the community there, because you offer so much now, and this I find fascinating. So yes, great big store in the middle of the community. You offer digital convenience with click and collect. You've got same day dispatch, which an awful lot of the bigger stores don't even do, and you've got this nationwide delivery. How do you manage it all?
You can't manage it alone, unless, as you can well imagine, it's all down to your team. And we have an excellent team involved with us here, and they've been instrumental in, we say, implementing the service culture and core values which have gained over the generations. We endeavour to bring these attributes to our online business, and if there's an issue there, we're there to help, and we don't hide behind, like some businesses do, behind ticketing systems or chat box, or we'll always try to offer that personal touch with the knowledgeable staff that we have. Ultimately, our goal has always been to get the blend of both worlds, the convenience of modern retail with the trust and care of what is our family business.
And I love that. And I think it really feels that way when you shop in there, even if it's online, it's family business, it's local, that you care. And I think that even comes across in the modern way nowadays of your social media presence, whether it's Instagram or TikTok. It's lovely to see that real core value come across. But actually, with that, I'm fascinated. We know the price of everything has gone through the roof, even if we just take over the last 2 years. You're grappling with playing with the big players in the market. You're an independent store, you're in the heart of rural Ireland. There are massive players in this space as well. What strategies, I suppose, do you use, or how do you manage that when there are so many pricing pressures out there for retailers, let alone consumers?
Yeah, well, as you know, connectivity is key now, and I have to say that the introduction of fibre broadband into Claremorris made a huge difference to our online business, because we were a bit hamstrung prior to that, but because it's fibre over fibre now, it has been a great benefit to us. But competing with the big players, it's never trying to outspend or undercut them. It's about playing to your strengths at the end of the day. And for us, that means leveraging the collective power of the buying groups that we're in and staying competitive on pricing. So that's why we would do price matching in store. And we still like to keep the independence so that we can tailor to our offering to the customers that are shopping with us. I would say the advantage of being local and family run is that we can respond very quickly and make decisions and build personal relationships with our customers as well. But ultimately, as I said earlier, our staff are key in providing the service trust and the flexibility that we offer our customers. And we're not any better or any worse than big players, but we would say we are different, and we believe customers recognize this. So along with that, combining that with the scale and support of the buying group and the training and information that they give us, is the best of both worlds, which keeps us competitive and gives us a community-focused experience that we hope will keep customers coming back.
It's fantastic that you have those buying groups that you can tap into, not just for obviously pricing of products, to keep those prices as low as you can, but also I presume just for that camaraderie. You have specialists there in other areas, you can see what other people are doing. And actually on that then, what I love about the store, and I know Anthony Gallagher there of PetStop, friend of the show, who's been on the podcast, you've obviously become a pet friendly store over the last few years. Anthony mentioned Keans when he was on the show. What customer feedback or even insight inspired you bringing PetStop into the store? Because they'd never done it before, you'd never done it before, but it's a fantastic idea that seems to be playing out really well.
Yeah, I suppose with PetStop, I have to say that we've been really lucky, Alyssa, because we're great friends with David Fitzsimons, who's the former CEO of Retail Excellence Ireland, and he's a retail guru in his own right. He was very friendly with Anthony Gallagher in PetStop, and through him we got introduced. And it's funny, when you meet someone and it just clicks. That was the way it was for us with Anthony, because I suppose he had been through some of the pain that we were feeling in the expansion and all of that, and he's really running a world-class operation, and for us getting involved was a complete no-brainer. And for us then, because we were expanding at the timing was just right. Since the pandemic, the pet population in Ireland has absolutely exploded, and with that comes a big demand for quality pet products, and PetStop has that. We could see the opportunity straight away, and it was, I suppose, the fact that we were engaged with David Fitzsimons. He came with what we believe is a brilliant fit for our business, and it's brought a whole new customer into our stores. And month after month, it's been growing, and a lot of that is down to the fantastic support of Shirley and the PetStop team, and of course Anthony. They've been outstanding.
That's fantastic to hear. And I love this collaboration in Irish retail. You have this incredible legacy business. Anthony, we know, and the team there, and he adores that team. The team have created something wonderful with the brand, with those stores. And it's actually lovely to have that in a little part of Mayo here as well, bringing the two brands together. And as you say, it works so well for people like me as a dog owner to know that I'm getting really good quality, really great product, but also I can most customers dive into then the agri part of your business, the homeware part of your business, whatever I might need as well. And it's all under one roof there, which is fantastic. So looking ahead then, because 120 years, no doubt you'll be around for an awful lot longer. Looking ahead, what excites you most? And maybe not even you, but I suppose that fourth generation coming up behind you there. Tech enhancements, new categories, customer trends. What are you looking at for the future?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the new generation, because it's they that are really pushing things at the moment, and they're always looking at opportunities and new ways of doing things. And I suppose the pace of change has increased so much now, but it also increases opportunities, and we can see the technology is really opening up new ways that we can serve customers and the way that customers want to do business. And we have to try and understand the buying habits of customers and have a more seamless online and in-store experience. So tools that will enhance that, which we are constantly looking at just to make shopping easier and more personal. We'd be also watching for new lifestyle and sustainability trends closely, and especially in our garden centre, and trends in the homewares, because you have to keep them current. Customers are more informed and value driven than ever before, because they have their mobile phone in hand now, and they have all of the information they need at their fingertips. So that's a challenge. We have to embrace that, and we have to anticipate shifts and being ready to adapt, whether it's through new categories, tech enhancements or simply finding better ways to deliver what customers want. AI is a great challenge, but we have to accept that AI isn't coming. AI is actually here. So we need to embrace that. We need to see how that will enhance our business and enhance the way we do business with our customers. So they would be the changes I would be excited about, whereas they do bring their own challenges. We really have to make the best use of them in relation to our own business.
Absolutely. You'd be mad not to, in this day and age, kind of embrace them. On that, then, is there any AI being used in the business? Are you dabbling in any of it at all? Are you kind of fact finding as to what's out there?
We are, because like in our online presence, there's AI behind every bit of that now, that was tracking what customers are browsing on our website. And we also have heat maps in our store where we can do a heat map on a weekly basis and see where customers are shopping, where they're lingering, where we need to change things around a small bit, where is being shopped and where isn't being shopped. And there's so much more coming down the line. I was even had a guy in from health and safety yesterday, and he was showing me stuff where we can log on an hourly basis if we feel like that the shop is being walked and that all health and safety is being kept up to date. So I think technology is moving much faster than we're able to stay up with it. So we're always doing a bit of catch up in that regard.
But it's great that you are embracing it at all instead of shunning it away and hoping that it'll go away and you can stay as you are. And obviously, that's the key reason as to why the brand is still going after 120 years. You're continually innovating and elevating what you offer, which is absolutely fantastic. And I suppose on that, then, park aside the fact the brand Keens has been there for 120 years. You've obviously been in the business for a long time, as you said at the beginning. What's the single best lesson have you learned in your retail journey, do you think, James?
Well, if there was only one, but there's loads. But I suppose if I was to single one out, I learned that your greatest asset is your staff, and at the end of the day, they're the ones really who represent you and sell the business on your behalf. Art Friedman, who was an American store owner, an entrepreneur, I've been at a couple of his conferences, we'll say, and or he would have been speaking at conferences I was at, and he has always said about the staff, if you don't train them, don't blame them. And I have to agree with that, because empowering your staff through training and trust is vital. And when you see them grow in confidence and excelling in their job, it's not just a business success, it's a real personal achievement for both them and for ourselves. And my family have embraced that just as much as I have myself. And I suppose the other thing I would say, it's try not to be negative. Remember, the person who said it couldn't be done, they were just passed out by the person who actually did it. So I suppose that's a kind of a mantra I took on board myself, because you really can get down in the weeds sometime and get very negative, whereas you're as well off to say there has to be a solution here.
That's really refreshing to hear, James, as well. That obviously the staff piece, because we know there's a massive issue with our people in retail right now with retention. But as you said, if you train them and you see that confidence build, they will stay with you as yours have. But also that positivity piece, I think, especially coming into this time of year when things can get tougher and just feel like it's never going to stop, being positive. And I think that really then kind of, really spreads. It's almost like infectious around with people that if you can stay positive, they will as well. And I think it comes back to you and it pays off so well, both within the team and within the store. And the customers see it as well. And I love that. It's so, so important. So, as I said, you've been around a long time. I sound awful saying that to you, but in a good way. What advice would you offer to other independents looking to stay strong and authentic in today's retail environment? So, not an easy question to answer there, James.
Yeah, well, some would say I've been around too long. So that's another day's work. But yeah, I would say in relation to that, somebody starting out, not to get disillusioned, business can feel lonely at times, and you don't have to do it alone. Just surround yourself with similar people, with your peers, share ideas, take a step backwards now and again. Everybody needs a bit of blue sky thinking, and whereas you mightn't have that, somebody else might have it for you. I'd have to say in my own relationship, my wife Patricia would be very good at this. She would be very much a blue sky thinker, and how can we look at something differently, or how can we improve it? And you have to remember, absolutely nobody is good at everything, and that's okay. What matters is keeping an open mind, thinking big, and being ready to adapt to the situation when they happen. And opportunities will always come, but the best ones are those where you make informed, prepared decisions and you're willing to plan for them. I would say, if it's possible, look at joining a purchasing group of some description, because if you're in electrical or if you're in hardware or anything like that, they offer much more than just purchasing. They do a lot in regard to marketing and training of your staff, and it also gives you a platform where you will find when you're talking to your peers that they're having the same issues as you're having. You still have the same problem going home, but you don't feel as bad about it because you're saying it's not something I'm doing, it's just something that's out there that we have to find a solution for.
And I love that. Do you know what? It really does sound like the journey, and the retail can be hard, but that retail journey isn't as lonely when you surround yourself with good people, as you said, whether it's your wife or whether it's those kind of peers in a buying group, that you are in this together. You might all be running your own independent stores, but actually knowing that there are people going through it at the same time, I think is hugely beneficial. And look, at the end of the day, as you've said earlier, this game is a people game. Retail's about people, whether it's our teams, whether it's our staff, or whether it's those customers coming in the door or other retail owners. That's what's, it makes the magic happen in this industry, which is absolutely gorgeous. But look, final question, and I know we're obviously coming to a bit of a crazy time of year, and no doubt it will be for yourselves. What's coming up next for you and the team?
How long have you got, Manila? We could go on for
tell,
hours here because
tell us everything.
I've always been told about our marketing calendar and our planograms and this and that and the other. So at the moment now we're in the process of setting up our Christmas shop, and unfortunately it's taken a little bit longer to come together than we hoped, but I'm assured that the finished product will be well worth the wait. From that then we'll be moving into the feed side of things in our agribusiness, and the fuel and the gas season they'll be starting for PetStop. We have a party coming up that will also include a Christmas photo shoot for your pet. So if you want to bring your pet along,
I'll be in.
we can organise a little Christmas photo for you there in November. Our annual Christmas evening will be happening as usual in November. And of course, then we have the big event, the Black Friday, which isn't a one-day event anymore now. It's a month-long event, so that will be all of November. And then it's into Christmas, so there's lots of activity planned, and hopefully they'll be relevant to our customer wants and needs. And I just like to say as well, that it's all possible only due to the fantastic team that we have here in Cairns, and as a result, we're able to serve locally now and nationwide. So we're delighted to be able to offer those connections to the whole of the country.
Fantastic. So a quiet few months then coming up by the sounds of it. My goodness, you do
Yeah,
so
if you
much. And
have
I
a
think
few spare hours now, you can, you should drop in. It'll
I'll
be
be
no
in to give you
problem.
a dig out. But it is what I love. You do so much for your customers. There's always something going on. And as you say, this time of year, it's lovely to be able to stand out because you offer so much in many different ways, whether it's, as you say, those down the country that can order online, whether it's people that can pop into store. There's always something going on. And the team are fantastic. Like, they really are an absolute credit to you. So, 120 years down and hopefully another 120 to go, if not more, because it's wonderful. Well,
Haven't I
it
shown
really
every
is.
day of it? Haven't I, Melissa?
And on to that fourth generation, no pressure on them now to keep doing what they're doing because it's remarkable. The
I
the
can assure
strength
you
of the retail business is wonderful.
they're better able to manage than I ever was, I can assure you. So
And that's down to you, James. It's
I have every
wonderful.
every confidence in them. Every confidence.
Fantastic. That's gorgeous. Well, look, if you've enjoyed today's podcast episode, please do like and share it from any of the podcast platforms out there. And of course, if you're on social media, tag me, Melissa Moore, and the Retail Tea Break podcast. You can listen back to previous seasons, all 8 of them now on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're there, do me a favor and hit that follow button so that you get to listen first every week. So obviously connect with myself and James over on LinkedIn, as well as following Keans on Instagram and TikTok. I'll pop all the details in the show notes, as well as that website. And as we kept saying, you can have nationwide delivery from the store, and it is well worth it. James, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm delighted we've been able to catch up. Best of luck now over the next few months as we run up to Christmas. Thanks so much for your time today.
You're very welcome, and the pleasure is all mine, I can assure you.
Thank you again to AutoAddress for sponsoring today's episode. AutoAddress powers faster checkouts and more accurate deliveries by fixing bad address data before it becomes a problem. So check out autoaddress.com and try it free for 14 days.